everyone, my name is Danielle Karl A. Salvador, a student from the University of Southern Mindanao taking up Bachelor of Physical Education. In this video, we are going to talk about the official rules in softball. Okay, let's start. Softball is a known and a very popular sport. It is a team sport played in an open field. Ang softball is never an easy sport. It is not an easy sport at all. Sobrang daming rules na kailangan i-abide ng mga players, the coaches, and the staff. Everyone, kailangan nilang pag-aralan at alamin kung ano-ano ang rules ng softball. At ang rules ng softball ay sobrang dami. Hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa or tatlo. And each of the rules ng softball ay may mga iba't ibang sections na kailangan din nating alamin. Let's start with the first rule, definitions. Section 1, altered bat. A bat is altered when the physical structure of a legal bat has been changed. Okay. Examples of altering a bat are replacing the handle of a metal bat with a wooden or other type handle, inserting material inside the bat, applying excessive tape more than 2 layers to the bat grip, or painting a bat at the top of or bottom for other than identification purposes. Section 2 is the appeal play. A live or dead ball appeal is a play or situation on which an umpire cannot make a decision unless requested by a manager, coach, or player of the non-offending team. Note, okay. A coach or manager may only make a dead ball appeal after stepping onto the playing field. Next section is Section 3, ball compression. Ball compression is the load force in kilograms or pounds required to compress a softball 6.5 mm or 0.25 inches when measured in accordance with the ASTM or American Society for Testing and Materials test method for measuring compression displacement of softballs. Section 4 is the ball core. The coefficient of restitution of a softball when measured with the ASTM or American Society for Testing and Materials test method for measuring the coefficient of restitution of softballs or core or COR. Section 5 is the baseline. A baseline is a direct line between bases. Section 6, base on balls. A base on balls occurs when 4 pitches are judged by the plate umpire to be balls, including illegal pitches. The batter is awarded first base. This is sometimes referred to as a walk. Okay? Then Section 7, base path. A base path is a direct line between a base and the runner's position at the time a defensive player is attempting or about to attempt to tag a runner. Section 8 is the batted ball. A batted ball is any ball that hits the bat or is hit by the bat and lands either in fair or foul territory. No intention to hit the ball is necessary. Section 9 is the batter. A batter is an offensive player who enters the batter's box with the intention of aiding his team to score runs. He continues to be a batter until he is either declared out by the umpire or he becomes a batter runner. Iba rin ang batter sa batter runner, okay? Section 10 is the batter's box. The batter's box is the area to which the batter is restricted while in position with the intention of helping his team to obtain runs. The lines are considered as being within the batter's box. Section 11 is the batter runner. A batter runner is a player who has finished a turn at bat but has not yet been put out or touched first base. Section 12, batting order. The batting order is the official listing of offensive players in the order in which members of that team must come to bat. When the lineup card is submitted, it shall also include each player's position. So, sa softball, sa batting order, merong order ang mga batter players, okay? Hindi pwedeng kung sino lang ang gusto nilang mag-bat for this time, sila ang magbabat. Merong order na kailangan sundin. Section 3 is the blocked ball. A blocked ball is a batted, thrown, or pitched ball that becomes lodged in the fencing or is touched, stopped, or handled by a person not engaged in the game or touches any object that is not part of the official equipment or playing area. And lastly, or if it is touched by a defensive player who is in contact with the ground and is not part of the playing area. A thrown ball touching a base coach accidentally in or out of the coach's box is not a blocked ball. Section 14, bunt. A bunt is a batted ball not swung at. Batted, okay? Hindi yung in-swing lang tapos niltamaan, but intentionally met with the bat and tapped slowly within the playing field. Bunt. Okay, section 15, catch. A catch is a legally caught ball, which occurs when the fielder catches a batted or thrown ball with his hand or hands or glove. In establishing a valid catch, the fielder shall hold the ball long enough to prove the ball is securely held and or that the release of the ball is voluntary and intentional. It is not a catch if a fielder, while gaining control, collides with another player, umpire, or a fence, or falls to the ground and drops the ball as a result of the collision of falling to the ground. Okay, section 16 is the catcher's box. The catcher's box is that area within which the catcher must remain until the pitch is released. The lines are to be considered within the catcher's box. Also, if the pitched ball is batted, touches the ground, plate, or batter, or reaches the catcher's box, the lines are to be considered within the catcher's box. The catcher is considered within the box except when touching the ground outside the catcher's box. Section 17 is the charged conference. Charged conference. A charged conference takes place when the offensive conference requests a suspension of play or delays play to allow the manager or other team representative to confer with any member of their team. Also, if the defensive team requests a suspension of play to allow a representative of the defensive team to enter the playing field to communicate with any defensive player, or a fielder leaves his position and goes to the dugout and gives the umpire reason to believe that he received instruction. Section 18 is the chopped ball. A chopped hit ball is one at which the batter strikes downward with a chopping motion of the bat so that the ball bounces into the air. Yun ang chopped ball. Parang nag-chop ka ng mga meat, ganyan. Kapag yung pag-hit mo ng ball is pag ganyan, pababa, like you're chopping a meat, like, of course, it's called chopped ball. So, kailangan the motion is like you're chopping something. Next, section 19 is the coach. A coach is a person who is responsible for the team's actions on the field, and he represents the team in communications with the umpire and the opposing team. For the purpose of these rules, the manager of the team is considered to be the head coach. Okay, the manager of the team. Section 20. Crow hop. A crow hop is defined as the act of a pitcher who does not push off from the pitcher's plate to deliver the ball. This is an illegal act if the pitcher steps off the pitcher's plate, thereby establishing a second impetus or starting point, and then pushes off from the new starting point and completes the delivery. Section 21 is the dead ball. A dead ball is one that touches any object that is not part of the official equipment or playing area, or a player or person not engaged in the game, or B. lodges in the umpire's gear or in an offensive player's clothing, or the umpire has ruled dead. Section 22 is the defensive team. The defensive team is the team in the field. Section 23 is the delayed dead ball rather. The delayed dead ball is a game situation in which the ball remains alive until the conclusion of a play. When the entire play is completed, if required, the umpire shall rule a dead ball. Section 24 is designated player. which is a starting offensive player who bats in the lineup for the flex player, listed in the 10th position of the lineup card. Dislodged base is in the section 25, okay? Dislodged base is a base displaced from its proper position. Section 26 is the double play. A double play is a play by the defense in which two offensive players are legally put out as a result of continuous action. Section 27 is dugout. The dugout is an area in dead ball territory designated for players, coaches, bat boys or girls, and official representatives of the team only. There shall be no smoking in this area. Dugout is where the players or the team as a whole gathers. Okay? Section 29. Fair ball. A fair ball is a legally batted ball which settles or is touched on or over fair territory between home and first base or between home and third base. Bounce past first and third base on or over fair territory regardless of where the ball hits after going over the base. Also if it touches first, second, or third base, it is called a fair ball. While on or over fair territory touches the person or clothing of an umpire or player, while over fair territory passes out of the playing field beyond the outfield fence, and also if in flight it hits the foul line ball. Section 30 is the fair territory. Fair territory is that part of the playing field within and including the first and third base foul lines from home base to the bottom of the extreme playing field fence and perpendicularly upwards. Section 31 is the fake tag. A fake tag is a form of obstruction on a runner while advancing or returning to a base by a fielder who is not in possession of the ball that impedes the progress of the runner. Section 32 is the fielder. A fielder is any defensive player of the team on the field. Section 33 is the fly ball. A fly ball is any ball batted into the air. It's flying. The ball is flying. That's called a fly ball. Section 34 is the flexed player. The flexed player is the starting player from whom or for whom the designated player is batting and whose name appears in the 10th position of the lineup card. Section 35 is the force out. A force out is an out which can be made only when a runner loses the right to the base which he is occupying because the batter becomes a batter runner and before the batter runner or a succeeding runner has been put out. On an appeal play, the force out is determined by the force situation at the time the appeal is made, not at the time of the infraction. Okay, then next is the section 36, forfeit. A forfeit is the act of the plate umpire ruling that the game is over by declaring the non-offending team the winner. Section 35 is the foul ball. A foul ball is a legally batted ball which settles on foul territory between home and the first base or between home and third base. Bounce past first or third on or over foul territory. First touches on foul territory beyond first and third base, while on or over foul territory touches the person, attached or detached equipment or clothing of an umpire or player, or any object forwarding to the natural ground. Section 38, the foul territory. Foul territory is any part of the playing field that is not included in fair territory. Section 39 is the foul tip. A foul tip is a batted ball which goes directly from the bat to the catcher's hands, goes not higher than the batter's head, and is legally caught by the catcher. It is not a foul tip unless caught, and any foul tip that is caught is a strike. Section 40 is the helmet. A helmet must have 2 ear flaps, one on each side, and shall be the type that has safety features equal to or greater than those provided by the full plastic cap with padding on the inside. A liner covering the ears only does not meet the rule specifications. Worn by a catcher may be the skull type without the ear flaps. Worn by a defensive player does not need ear flaps. Thus, that is cracked, broken, dented, or altered shall be declared an illegal helmet and removed from the game. Section 41 is the home team. The home team is the team on whose grounds the game is played, or if the game is played on neutral ground. The home team shall be designated by mutual agreement or by a flip of a coin. The home team shall take the third base dugout and play defense first. Section 42 is the illegal bat. An illegal bat is one that does not meet the requirements of Rule 3, Section 1. Next is the Section 43 illegal extra player. An illegal extra player is one who violates any of the provisions. Okay? Section 44 is the illegal pitcher. An illegal pitcher is any player legally in the game but one who may not pitch as a result of being removed from the pitching position by the umpire as a result of the defensive charge conference limit being exceeded or being removed from the pitching position by the umpire as a result of pitching with excessive speed after a warning. Section 45 is the illegal player. An illegal player is a player who takes a position in the lineup, either on offense or defense, who has not reported to the plate umpire. A player who takes a position on offense or defense, who does not have a legal right to do that position. Section 46 is the illegal re-entry. An illegal re-entry occurs when a starting player returns to the game a second time after twice being substituted. A starting player returns to the game after being substituted but not on his original position in the offensive lineup. Section 47 is the illegal substitute. An illegal substitute is a player who has entered the game without being announced to the umpire. He may be a substitute who has not previously been in the game, an illegal player, a declared ineligible player, an illegal re-entry, or an illegal DP or flex player, or EP. Okay? A replacement player who remains in the game as an unannounced substitute for a withdrawn player who has not returned to the game within the time permitted under the provisions of the replacement player rule. Section 48 is the illegally batted ball. An illegally batted ball occurs when the batter hits the ball fair or foul, while his entire foot is completely out of the batter's box on the ground when he makes contact with the ball, while any part of the batter's foot is touching home plate when he makes contact with the ball, while contacting the ball with an illegal, non-approved, or altered bat. Also, after he steps with either foot entirely out of the batter's box and then returns and makes contact with the ball while within the batter's box. Section 49 is the illegally caught ball. An illegally caught ball occurs when a fielder catches a batted, thrown, or pitched ball with his cap, mask, glove, or any part of his uniform while it is detached from its proper place. Section 50 is the ineligible player. An ineligible player is a player who may no longer legally participate in the game because the umpire has removed him. An ineligible player may no longer participate as a player but may continue in the game as a coach. Section 51 is the ineligible replacement player. An ineligible replacement player is a player who may not enter the game to replace a player who must leave the game to attend to an injury that has caused bleeding. An ineligible replacement player is the one who has been removed from the game by the umpire for a violation of the rules. Section 52 is in flight. In flight describes any batted, thrown, or pitched ball that has not yet touched the ground or some object other than the fielder. Okay, fly ball ang tawag sa bola na lumilipad. Also, it is called a ball in flight kasi it hasn't touched or batted, thrown, or pitched ball. Okay. Section 53 is in jeopardy. In jeopardy is a term indicating that the ball is in play and an offensive player may be put out. Section 54 is in field. The infield is that portion of the field in fair territory that includes areas normally covered by the infielders. Section 55 is the infielder. An infielder is a defensive player, including pitcher and catcher, who is generally positioned anywhere near or within the lines of the base paths, forming fair territory. Section 56 is infield fly. An infield fly is a fair fly ball, not including a line drive or an attempted bunt. Okay? When it seems apparent that a batted ball will be an infield fly, the umpire shall immediately declare infield fly. In fair, the batter is out. Next, section 57 is inning. An inning is the portion of a game within which the teams alternate on offense and defense, and in which there are 3 outs for each team. Section 58 is the intentional base on balls. An intentional base on balls occurs when the defensive team desires to place the batter on first base without the requirement to deliver 4 pitched balls. Section 59 is the intentionally dropped fly ball. An intentionally dropped fly ball is a fair fly ball, including the line drive or a bunt. Section 60 is the interference. Interference is the act of an offensive player or team member that impedes, hinders, or confuses a defensive player attempting to execute a play. An umpire who impedes a catcher's attempt to throw a runner who is off the base. An umpire or runner being hit with a fair batted ball prior to it passing an infielder, excluding the pitcher. Section 61 is leaping. Leaping is the act of a pitcher that causes him to be airborne on his initial move and push from the pitcher's plate. The momentum built by the forward movement of the pitcher causes the entire body, including both the pivot and stepping non-pivot foot, to be in the air with the same time and moving towards a home plate. Section 62 is the legal touch or tag. A legal touch or tag is the action of a fielder in touching or tagging. Section 63 is the legally caught ball. A legally caught ball occurs when a fielder catches a batted, thrown, or pitched ball, provided it is not caught in the fielder's cap, helmet, mask, protector, pocket, or other part of his uniform. It must be caught and firmly held in hands or glove. Section 64 is the line drive. A line drive is a ball in flight that is batted sharply and directly into the playing field. Section 65. Lineup and lineup card. A lineup is the list of players who are currently involved playing offensive and defensive positions. Okay? If an incorrect uniform number is listed on the lineup card, it may be corrected and the game continued with no penalty. Section 66. Section 66 is the obstruction. Obstruction is the act of a defensive player or team member who hinders or prevents a batter from striking at or hitting a pitched ball. A fielder who impedes the progress of a runner or batter-runner who is legally running bases. Section 67 is the offensive player. An offensive player only, or OPO, is a player in the batting order other than the flex, from whom or for whom the DP is playing defense. The OPO continues to play offense but not play defense. Section 68 is the offensive team. The offensive team is the team at bat. Okay? The Section 69. Section 69 is official equipment. Official equipment is considered to be any equipment, bats, gloves, helmets, etc. in current use by the defensive or offensive team in the course of play. Defensive equipment, gloves for example, left on the field by the team playing offensive would not be considered an official equipment. Section 70. On-deck batter. The on-deck batter is the offensive player whose name follows the name of the batter in the batting order. Section 71. On-deck circle. The on-deck circle is that area where the on-deck batter may warm up or takes practice swings while waiting his turn to enter the batter's box. Section 72. 1 meter, 3-foot line. The 1 meter or 3 foot line is the area at the last half distance between home and first base where a batter runner must run to avoid being called out for interfering with the thrown ball from the home plate area or with the fielder's attempt to take such a throw while running to first base. Section 73 is the option play. Option play is a play in which the offensive coach or manager is given the choice of taking the enforcement of the illegal action or the result of the play. Section 74 is the outfield. The outfield is that portion of the field that is outside the diamond formed by the baselines or the area not normally covered by an infielder and within the foul lines beyond first and third bases and boundaries of the grounds. Section 75 is the overslide. An overslide is the act of an offensive player when, as a runner, he overslides a base he is attempting to reach. It is usually caused when his momentum causes him to lose contact with the base, which then causes him to be in jeopardy. The batter runner may overslide first base without being in jeopardy, provided he immediately returns to that base. Section 76 is the overthrow. An overthrow is a play in which a ball is thrown from one fielder to another. Okay? Then, Section 77, passed ball. A passed ball is a pitch that should have been held or controlled by the catcher with ordinary effort. Section 78, pitch. A pitch is the act performed with a pitcher in delivering the ball to the batter. Section 79, pitcher's circle. The pitcher's circle is the area within 2.44 meters of the pitcher's plate. The lines are considered within the circle. Section 80 is the pivot foot. The pivot foot is that foot with which the pitcher pushes off the pitcher's plate. Also which, when placed in contact with the pitcher's plate by the pitcher, must remain in contact with the pitcher's plate until the pitch ball is released. Section 81 is the play ball. Play ball is the term used by the plate umpire to indicate that the play shall begin or be resumed when the pitcher holds the ball. All offensive players except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's box, must be in the fair territory to put the ball in play. Section 82 is the pre-game meeting. The pre-game meeting is a meeting held at the home plate area at a predetermined time between the umpires and the head coaches or managers or team representatives or the respective teams. Section 83 is the protest. Protest, or separated from an appeal, is the action of a defensive or offensive team objecting to something. That's called or considered a protest. Section 84 is the quick return pitch. A quick return pitch is one made by the pitcher with the obvious attempt to catch a batter off balance. This would be before the batter takes his desired position in the batter's box or while he is still off balance as a result of the previous pitch. Section 85 is the re-entry. Re-entry is the act of any of the starting players returning to the game after being legally or illegally substituted. Section 86 is the removal of the game. Removal is the act of the umpire declaring a player ineligible. Any person so removed may continue to sit on the bench but shall not participate further in the game except as a coach. Section 87 is the replacement player. A replacement player is a player required to enter the game for a defined period of time to replace a player who must leave the game to attend to an injury that is causing bleeding. Section 88 is the runner. A runner is a player of the team at bat who has finished a turn at bat, reached the first base, and has not yet been put out. Section 89 is the slap hit. A slap hit is a batted ball that has been struck with a controlled short chopping motion rather than a full swing. Okay, a slap hit is not considered to be a bunt. Section 90 is the squeeze play. A squeeze play is a play in which the offensive team with the runner on third base attempts to score that runner by means of the batter contacting the ball. Section 91 is the starting player or the starting players. Starting players are the players listed on the official lineup given to the umpire-in-chief and or the plate umpire. Section 92 is stealing. Stealing is the act of the runner attempting to advance during or after a pitch to the batter. Stealing is not allowed in slow pitch. Section 93 is the strike zone. The strike zone is that space over any part of home plate between the batter's armpits and the top of his knees when he assumes his natural batting stance. The strike zone is that space over any part of home plate that is between the batter's back shoulder and his knees when he assumes his natural batting stance. Section 94 is the substitute. A substitute player is listed on the official lineup card who is a non-starting player, and also if a starting player who has left the game once and who may legally return to the lineup. Section 95, tagging up. Tagging up is the action of a runner returning to his base or remaining on his base before he legally advances on a batted fly ball that is first touched by a fielder. Not to be confused with the action of a fielder tagging a base or a runner. Section 96. Team member. A team member includes any person authorized to sit on the team bench. Section 95 is the temporary runner. The temporary runner is a player who may run for the catcher of record from the preceding half inning, who is now on the base with 2 out. Section 98, throw. A throw is the act performed by a fielder when throwing the ball to another fielder. Section 99, time. Time is the term used by the umpire to order the suspension of play during which the ball is dead. Section 100. Section 100 is the tapped ball. A tapped ball is a legally batted fly ball or line drive that hits the ground or a fence prior to being caught, or a legally batted fly ball that is caught against a fence with the glove or bare hand, or a thrown ball to any base for a force out which is caught with the glove over the ball on the ground rather than under the ball, or a pitch ball that touches the ground on a strike prior to the catching or the catcher catching it. Section 101, triple play. A triple play is a continuous action play by the defense on which 3 offensive players are put out. Section 102, turn at bat. A turn at bat begins when a player first enters the batter's box and continues until the batter is put out or becomes a batter runner. Section 103, wild pitch. A wild pitch is a pitch so high, so low, or so wide of the plate that the catcher cannot or does not stop and control it with an ordinary effort. Section 104 is the wild throw. A wild throw is a play in which a ball is thrown from one fielder to another and cannot be caught or controlled, is not blocked, and remains in play. Section 105. Last section for the Rule 1 is the withdrawn player. The withdrawn player is a player forced to leave the game or line up in accordance with the replacement player ruling. That's it for the Rule 1. Definitions. Rule 1. Next is the Rule 2. The playing field. Okay. Section 1 is the playing field. It is the area within the ball may be legally played and fielded. Shall have a clear and unobstructed area within the minimum radius as set out in the distance table. It's shown na rin sa presentation, okay, as you can see. From home plate between the foul lines. Section 2 is the ground or special rules. Ground or special rules establishing the limits of the playing field may be agreed upon the leagues or opposing teams, whenever backstops, fences, stands, vehicles, spectators, or other obstructions are within their prescribed area. Section 3 is the official diamond shall have baselines and pitching distances as set out in the distance table. If during the game, the base distance or the pitching distance is found to be at the wrong distance, correct the error at start of the next full inning and continue playing the game. Okay? Rule 3, Equipment. Section 1 is the official bat. It shall be one-piece construction, multi-piece permanently assembled, or two-piece interchangeable construction. If the bat is designed with interchangeable components, it must meet the following criteria. Mating components must have a unique locking key to prevent uncertified equipment combinations in the field. All component combinations must meet the same standards as if it were a one-piece bat when combined or a portion of a one-piece bat is separated. Shall be made of one piece or hardwood or formed from a block of wood consisting of two or more pieces of wood. Okay? Shall be metal, bamboo, plastic, graphite, carbon, magnesium, fiberglass, ceramic, or any other composite material approved by the ISF Equipment Standards Commission. Can be laminated but must contain only wood or adhesive and have a clear finish. Okay? Shall be round and shall be smooth. Shall not be more than 86.4 centimeters long, nor exceed 1077.0 grams in weight. Shall not be more than 5.7 centimeters in diameter at its largest part, and tolerance of 0.80 millimeters is permitted to allow for expansion. Shall not have exposed rivets, pins, rough or sharp edges, or any form of exterior fastener that would present a hazard. If metal, shall not have a wooden handle. Shall have a safety grip of cork, tape, or composition material. Tape applied to any bat must be continuously spiral. If metal and not made of one-piece construction with the barrel and closed, shall have a rubber or vinyl plastic. Okay? A bat that is not free or rattles shall be considered an illegal bat. Shall have a safety knob of a minimum of 0.6 centimeters protruding at a 90-degree angle from the handle. A flare or cone grip attached to the bat will result in the bat being considered an altered bat. Shall be marked by the manufacturer in the prominent manner so as to be easily visible. The weight, distribution of weight or length of the bat must be permanently fixed at the time of manufacture and may not be altered in any way. The official bat shall not be an altered bat. Okay? And section 2, the warm-up bats. The warm-up bat must be one piece construction and it shall comply with the safety grip and safety knob requirements of the official bat. Section 3 is the official soft ball. Shall be a regular smooth-seamed, concealed, stitched, or flat-surfaced ball. Shall have a center core made of either number 1 quality long fiber kapwa, a mixture of cork and rubber, a polyurethane mixture, or other materials approved by the ISF Equipment Standards Commission. May be hand or machine wound with a fine quality. Shall have a cover cemented to the ball by application of cement to the underside of the cover and sewn with waxed thread of cotton or linen. Shall have a cover of the finest quality, number 1 chrome tanned horsehide or cowhide. Softballs used in ISF championship play must meet the standards set by the ISF Equipment Standards Commission. In co-ed slow pitch play, male batters will be pitched to with the front of the 12 inches ball and female batters with the 11 inches ball. Section 4 is gloves and mitts. Any player wear a glove but only a catcher and first baseman may use mitts. Section 5 is the shoes. All team members must wear shoes. A shoe shall be considered official if it is made with either canvas or leather uppers or similar materials and is fully enclosed. Section 6. Protective equipment. Masks, face masks, body protectors, shin guards, helmets, everything that protects the player while in game. Protective leg and arm guards, that's also included in the protective gears. Section 7. Equipment on playing field. Equipment that is not part of the official equipment shall not be left flying or lying on the playing field in either fair or foul territory. Section 8. Uniform. All players on a team shall wear uniforms alike in color, trim, and style. For the identity, like caps, undershirts, pants or sliding pants, numbers, names, and casts. Section 9. All equipment. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the ISF reserves the right to withhold or withdraw approval of any equipment which, in the ISF's sole determination, significantly changes the character of the game, affects the safety of participants or spectators, or renders a player's performance more a product of his equipment rather than his individual skill. Rule number 4. Coaches, players, and substitutes. Section 1. Coaches. Head coach is responsible for signing the lineup card. Coaches must be neatly attired. An offensive team coach or the base coach is an eligible member of the team and at the bat who takes his place on the field within the coach's box. A defensive team coach or manager is an eligible member of the team in field who may be an either or a non-playing coach who remains in the dugout or a playing coach who takes his place on the field. Coaches may not use language that will reflect negatively upon players, umpires, or the spectators. No communication equipment is allowed. Okay, and then section 2 for the rule number 4 is lineup cards and rosters. Official lineup cards are to be completed and submitted to the official scorer. Okay, then male rosters shall include only male players and female rosters shall only include female players. Section 3. The players. A team shall consist of players in the following position. Fast pitch, 9 players. Fast pitch with designated player, 10 players. Slow pitch, 10 players. And then slow pitch with an extra player, 11 players. Co-ed slow pitch, 10 players. Co-ed slow pitch with extra players, 12 players. Players of the team in the field may be stationed anywhere on the fair territory except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's box, and the pitcher, who must be in a legal pitching position at the start of each pitch or within the pitcher's circle. A team must have the required number of eligible players present in the team area to start or continue a game. Section 4. Starting players. A starting player shall be official when the lineup card is inspected and approved by the plate umpire and the team representative at the pre-game meeting. Section 5. Designated player. A designated player, referred to as a DP, may be used as a batter for any defensive player. The starting DP may be substituted and may re-enter one time. The name of the defensive player for whom the DP is batting, known as the flex player or flex, will be placed in the 10th position on the lineup sheet. The starting player listed as the DP must remain in the same position in the batting order wherever he is in the game. The DP and his substitute or replacement may never play offense at the same time. The DP may be substituted for at any time, either by a batter or a runner, or the flex for whom he is batting may enter in his place an offense. Next is the extra player for the section 6. An extra player, referred to as an EP, is optional. If the EP is used, he must be used in the entire game. Co-ed only. If 2 EPs are used, all 12 must bat and any 10 may play defense. The AP must remain in the game position in the batting order for the entire game. The starting AP may re-enter the game one time after having been substituted. Section 7 is due re-entry. Any of the starting players may be substituted and re-enter once, except if the starting player currently not in the lineup is brought into the lineup as a replacement player. If a manager or coach removes a substitute from the game and re-enters the same substitute later in the game, this is considered an illegal re-entry. When a starting player re-enters the game and occupies a different position in the offensive lineup, it is also considered an illegal re-entry. Next section is the Section 8, Substitutes and Illegal Player. A substitute may take the place of a player whose name is in his team's lineup. The following regulations govern player substitutions. The coach or team representative of the team making the substitution shall immediately notify the plate umpire at the time the substitute re-enters. If a substitute enters the game without reporting and after a pitch has been thrown, legal or illegal, or after a play has been made, the player will be declared ineligible. Okay, next section is the disputed calls, Section 9. Any team member disputing any judgment decision by an umpire will constitute a team warning. Any repeat offense shall result in the ejection of that team member. Section 10, Dugout Conduct. Coaches, players, substitutes, or other bench personnel shall not be outside the designated dugout area, except when the rules allow or when considered justified by the umpire. There shall be no smoking in the designated dugout area. First offense is the team warning. Any repeat of offense shall result to that ejection of the team member. Section 11 is the replacement player. In the event of a player bleeding during the game, that player must be withdrawn from the game if the bleeding cannot be stopped within a reasonable length of time, or his uniform becomes covered with blood. The withdrawn player shall not return to the game until all bleeding ceases, the injury cleaned and covered, and if necessary, his uniform replaced. Next section is the temporary runner. A temporary runner is legal for a catcher of record from any previous half inning who is on the base with 2 out. Section 13, Violations and Penalties. Team members shall not make disparaging or insulting remarks to or about opposing players, officials, or spectators, or commit other acts that could be considered unsportsmanlike conduct. The penalty for violations by a team member shall be for a first offense, the offender may be warned. For a second offense, or if a first offense is considered serious enough by the umpire, the offender is ejected from the game. A team member ejected from the game shall go directly to the dressing room for the remainder of the game or leave the grounds. Failure of a person so ejected to leave the game immediately will warrant a forfeiture for the game. An officiating umpire may report a team member for offensive conduct, language, or physical abuse anytime after a game has been called, in which case the reported team member will appear before the organization under which the game or tournament is played. That's it for rule number 1 to rule number 4 of softball. Hit like and subscribe for the next video, the next part of this report, the official rules of softball, rule number 5 to rule number 8. Bye!